close your eyes. Imagine a signal from a dark room sent long ago by someone who knew too much. The internet is not just wires and light. It is a haunted forest of secrets, where the lost voices of the world still whisper. For decades, a different kind of investigator has walked this digital forest, searching for answers to riddles that should not exist. They are looking for the makers of strange codes, the singers of lost songs, and the people who vanished after posting their final thoughts online. These mysteries are chilling because they are still open. They are the shadows on the edge of your screen, and they never sleep. This story is about the ghost lights of the internet. Puzzles, songs, videos, and games that appear from nowhere and lead to nowhere. Yet they are all connected by a single, hidden fear. This fear is simple. What if the person you're talking to online isn't who they say they are? What if they are a puzzle created to test you? Or worse, a trap set for the curious? We will travel from the first coded messages of the 1990s to the bizarre live streams of the modern age. We will see how every click can take you closer to a secret you can never unsee. The biggest monster is the one we never see, and on the internet that monster is still waiting. Cicada 3301. In 2012, a strange message appeared on a hidden image board, asking for highly intelligent individuals. It was signed 3301, and it started the most complex and secretive puzzle hunt the world has ever known. The first clue led to a phone number that played a cryptic recorded message, and from there, the trail snaked through cryptography, classical literature, and even ancient Mayan numerical systems. The message promised a reward for those who could complete the challenge, but the reward was never a thing, only more questions about what exactly the group behind the puzzle wanted. The puzzle hunt moved from the digital world to the physical. Followers had to travel to specific coordinates to find paper flyers posted on street lamps and walls in cities across the globe, including the United States, Poland, and Japan. These were not random locations. They were clues that led to further coded messages, all protected by layers of complex encryption. The entire mystery felt like a real-life spy recruitment operation, designed to filter out the merely clever and find those with a truly unique way of thinking. Yet no one was ever sure who was doing the recruiting. To this day, the true purpose and identity of Cicada 3301 remain completely unknown. Some believe it is a modern-day secret society, others a government agency, and still others suspect it is a collective of hackers testing the limits of online communication. Every year, around January, the online world holds its breath, waiting for the next signal, the next digital echo of the lost group. The last clear message arrived in 2014, leaving the puzzle unfinished, and the true meaning behind the cipher-filled journey remains a deep, quiet secret. Markovian parallax denigrate. This is one of the very first great internet mysteries, dating back to 1996 in the early days of online forums. A series of seemingly random, nonsensical posts appeared on a newsgroup, a kind of primitive online discussion board. The language used was highly stylized but completely meaningless, like a computer was having a bad dream. The words were familiar, but the way they were arranged made no sense at all. It looked like someone had taken a classic book, cut out every word, thrown them in the air and typed them as they fell. These strange messages included phrases like Markovian parallax denigrate, which gave the mystery its name. For a long time, people thought it was a very early example of a simple computer program, a bot, that was learning to talk by randomly stitching together words. But the messages had an underlying structure, almost a rhythm, that made them feel intentional, leading others to believe it was a failed attempt at a secret code or a bizarre artistic statement. Nobody could find the original author or explain the reason for the post. The messages continued to haunt the early internet because they suggested a new kind of online ghost, a voice without a body, a communication without a message. Even now, over 2 decades later, the author has never been found, and the puzzle remains completely unsolved. It is a time capsule of a young internet, a reminder that from the very first moments, the digital world was also a place for shadows and secrets. It was a digital whisper that meant nothing, and yet terrified everyone who tried to read it. ARG. For many years, a specific place on the social website Reddit became known as a quiet corner of pure digital mystery. It was a subreddit called R858, and it contained nothing but encrypted code, long strings of numbers and letters, almost like a machine talking to itself. New posts would appear daily, sometimes multiple times a day, and the community of codebreakers would immediately descend, trying to find the meaning hidden within the confusing repeating patterns. They knew the posters were trying to communicate something, but they could not understand the language. Investigators quickly realized the messages were not random. They followed a structure, and the code seemed to change over time, as if the sender was responding to the outside world. One of the more unsettling discoveries was that the messages often contained images hidden inside the text. These pictures were not clues. They were strange, often disturbing images of faces, strange landscapes, or even just static noise. It was as if the message was not meant to be read, but only seen, providing a fleeting glimpse of something private and unnerving. After years of constant posting, the channel suddenly went silent and was then set to private, locking out the entire community of devoted codebreakers. The question remains, who was sending these messages and why did they stop? Some believe it was a form of data storage, while others think it was an artificial intelligence developing its own language. Whatever the truth, the memory of RA858 remains a quiet, cold spot on the internet, a file cabinet full of secrets that was abruptly closed and locked forever. The WebDriver torso. In 2013, a strange and simple YouTube channel started uploading hundreds of short, baffling videos. The channel was named WebDriver Torso, and the videos were all the same. 10 seconds long, showing basic shapes, red and blue rectangles, moving around and producing a simple electronic beeping sound. They were boring, repetitive, and utterly meaningless to any human observer. Why would a person spend years creating and uploading such a mountain of identical, nonsensical data for no known audience? The sheer volume and relentless consistency of the posts immediately triggered conspiracy theories. People thought it was a spy communications network using the videos to pass secret messages to agents in the field. Others believed it was a test of early AI to see how it would react to noise, or perhaps even a strange code meant to be deciphered by a computer, not a person. The pattern of the colours and shapes was too uniform to be completely random, suggesting some kind of language was hidden in the video's rhythm. One video in the entire archive stood out and broke the pattern. It was a brief clip of a hand-drawn picture of what looked like a man with strange proportions, possibly a stick figure. This small, human detail amidst thousands of machine-like uploads only deepened the mystery, suggesting that maybe there was a person, a single, lonely author, somewhere behind the curtain. While Google eventually claimed the channel was just a testing tool, the strange, brief flash of the drawing remains unexplained. The goddess of life. This mystery revolves around an extremely creepy and complex website that was discovered in the late 1990s, built around the strange idea of a figure called the goddess of life. The site was filled with bizarre poetry, religious-sounding text, and highly stylized, unsettling images of women who were edited to look unnatural, often with distorted faces or blank-wide eyes. The creator was anonymous, and the content felt like the ramblings of a deeply troubled mind or the manifesto of a small, unknown cult. The site's design was purposefully confusing and hard to navigate, almost like a puzzle itself, demanding that you click through endless, dark pages to find the next part of the story. Investigators found that the website was linked to real-world sightings and strange, specific geographical coordinates, suggesting that the creator was trying to lure people to certain locations. This raised the level of fear from a simple internet oddity to a genuine worry about the safety of those who became too obsessed with the site's dark message. Even though the website is long gone, the mystery remains because the author was never identified, and the true meaning of the goddess of life and her coded locations was never explained. It is a perfect example of a mystery that started small but touched on a primal fear, that a stranger is watching you from the internet and they are trying to guide you somewhere dangerous. The question of who they were and what they wanted with the site's visitors still lingers in the quiet corners of the early web. The key to the sky. This puzzle was a complex image posted online that appeared to be a photograph of a plain grey sky. However, the image contained a massive hidden secret, a densely packed code known as a stiganogram. When digital investigators applied the right filters and code-breaking tools, they discovered an incredible amount of text and mathematical information concealed within the picture's seemingly uniform colour. It was an entire secret library of information hidden in a single, simple image of the atmosphere. The code itself was so intricate that it took a coordinated effort by hundreds of online sleuths to even begin to decipher it. The content of the hidden message was deeply unsettling, referencing strange occult symbols, historical secrets, and what appeared to be instructions for building something unknown. The combination of an innocent-looking picture and a deeply cryptic message made the puzzle feel like a digital time bomb waiting to be opened. The title of the image was only "The Key to the Sky." The mystery was never fully solved, and the identity of the person who created this complex, layered digital artifact is still completely unknown. It remains one of the most masterful examples of hiding a secret message in plain sight on the internet. It forces us to wonder how many other simple pictures we scroll past every day on our screens are actually hiding a massive complex secret, waiting for the right person with the right tool to unlock a new, terrifying message. 973, eat number 973.com. The internet is home to websites that feel like they should not exist, and this particular domain is a perfect example. The site's address is itself a coded message. It is human the 973 spelled backward. The website itself is a minimalist but deeply bizarre collection of philosophical rants, strange artwork, and coded sequences that seem to follow a logic only known to the creator. It feels like entering the private diary of someone who has spent too much time alone, thinking about the world's secrets. The content is focused on the idea of humanity being trapped in a kind of false reality, a common theme in conspiracy culture, but it is presented with a terrifying intensity. The site features a clock that ticks down to an unknown date, and the artwork is highly stylized and unsettling, often showing distorted human forms or strange apocalyptic landscapes. The sheer dedication and the specific coded language used suggest the author is trying to communicate a genuine belief, not just play a simple online game. What makes this mystery truly creepy is that the website is still up and running to this day, a silent digital relic that continues to post and evolve. The identity of the 973 figure remains a mystery, and investigators cannot determine if the site is simply one person's unique way of expressing dark ideas, or if it is the online front for a small secretive group. It is a slow, steady pulse of unease that lives quietly in the corner of the web, still ticking down to its unknown final date. The Toynbee Tiles. While the internet did not create this mystery, it is the one that gave it global life and an army of dedicated investigators. Since the 1980s, ceramic tiles have been found embedded in asphalt across more than 20 major American cities, and some in South America. They all share the same bizarre, handmade message. Toynbee idea, resurrect dead on planet Jupiter, or variations on this theme. The creator has been a ghost for decades, communicating only through these strange cemented plaques. The messages are deeply cryptic, a confusing mix of a theory by the historian Arnold Toynbee and the strange science fiction idea of reanimating the dead on a distant planet. The tiles are placed in the middle of busy roads, requiring the creator to risk their life under the cover of night or heavy traffic to embed the small messages. This level of dedication, combined with the extreme strangeness of the message itself, has captivated internet sleuths who have spent years trying to track the materials and the roots of the tiler. The search for the tiler, who is often called the Tile Man, has become a generational online obsession, with forums dedicated to mapping the locations and analysing the construction of the tiles. In the early 2000s, investigators found clues that led to a specific house in Philadelphia, suggesting they had found the man, but the truth was never fully confirmed and the mystery has never been fully closed. These tiles are a permanent, quiet reminder that the most compelling secrets can be found not just online, but right beneath your feet. HTTPS www.google.com search Qucas mortis. Com. In the earliest days of the World Wide Web, before the search engines and social media, there were dark and quiet corners that felt like old, abandoned tombs. One of these was a website called HTTPS. www.google.com search mortis.com. The homepage was simply a stark black background with a small login prompt asking for a username and password. There were no instructions, no context, and no way to know who had made the site or what it was guarding. It was a digital lock on a door leading into total darkness. The simple, uninviting nature of the page drew a huge number of curious hackers and online sleuths, all determined to find out what was hidden behind the anonymous wall. After years of effort, a few determined people managed to gain access and discovered that the site was filled with massive amounts of data, mostly related to a man named Rick. The data included family photos, financial records, and medical information, a complete and terrifying digital archive of a person's life. The sheer volume of private, personal information, presented without explanation or context, made the discovery deeply disturbing. Was the site a morbid digital grave, a final resting place for a person's memories, or was it a form of online blackmail? The mystery deepened when a second, similar website was discovered, suggesting a network of these digital vaults existed. The identity of the creator remains unknown, leaving behind a chilling feeling that someone is keeping a quiet, watchful archive of us all. The Cryptic Nothing YouTube channel. This channel was unique because its content was not a strange message or code, but a deliberate lack of content. The channel posted a single short video titled Nothing, which consisted of only a black screen and a low, continuous humming sound. The user who created the channel posted strange, cryptic messages in the comment sections of other popular videos, always referring back to their own dark, silent upload. They seemed to be trying to point people towards the absolute absence of something. Internet investigators eventually managed to track the account's behaviour and found that the user who ran the channel seemed to be deeply focused on a very specific, unsolved murder case. They would post obscure clues, dates, and sometimes what looked like geographical coordinates, all tied to the old murder, but never giving a clear, direct answer. It was a constant, frustrating drip feed of information from a person who seemed to know the secret but would only speak in riddles and silence. The channel was eventually deleted by the user, and all the mysterious comments were wiped clean from the internet. The silence that followed was even more unsettling than the strange humming video. Was this a person connected to the crime, trying to confess without being caught? Or was it a determined internet detective who had found the answer and decided to stop sharing? We do not know, and the channel remains a frightening reminder of the secrets hidden in the shadows of the comment section. The most mysterious song on the internet. The quiet hunt for this song began when a German teenager recorded a tune off a public radio station in the 1980s. The recording, which sounds like 1980s new wave rock, was completely unknown. For decades, the owner of the tape, and later his sister, tried everything to find the artist, sharing the clip with radio stations, music experts, and record labels, but the song did not appear on any record of any band. It was a perfect song, with no known home. When the song was finally uploaded to the internet, it became a phenomenon, with millions of listeners around the world joining the search. A massive online community was created, dedicated to breaking down the song's lyrics, matching the instruments, and tracing the German radio station's playlists. The search was so intense that it even earned its own simple, powerful name, the most mysterious song on the internet. It was a massive effort to find a single lost voice in the darkness. The song was finally solved in 2024 after decades of searching. It was discovered to be Subways of Your Mind by a small German band named Breeze. However, for the many years it was unsolved, the song felt like a ghost. A perfect piece of art created by an unknown spirit that vanished the moment the tape was turned off. The fact that an entire generation of the internet was needed to find a single tiny band reminds us how easily true beauty can be lost. The Ruth Price 911 call in 1993. A calm, elderly woman named Ruth Price called the emergency line to report a man outside her home in California. She spoke quietly and clearly, describing the strange man trying to get into her apartment. As she was talking to the operator, a terrifying change happened on the line. Ruth suddenly stopped speaking mid-sentence, and then a chilling, blood-curdling scream could be heard before the line went completely silent. The sound itself was so raw that it still sends a shock through anyone who hears the recording. When police arrived at her apartment, they found Ruth had been murdered. The case quickly became an internet-driven mystery, with thousands of amateur detectives listening to the raw audio of the 911 call, trying to pull meaning from the sounds. Investigators obsessed over the tiny background noises on the tape, hoping to identify the killer's voice, a door opening, or a faint reflection of the killer's presence caught by the microphone during the terrifying silence. The killer was eventually caught, but for years the raw audio of Ruth Price's final moments became a horrifying digital artifact. It was a simple, stark reminder that the technology we use for safety can also record our greatest moments of terror. The unsolved period, where only the sound existed, was far more chilling than the truth, leaving millions of listeners to imagine the silence after the scream and the fear that still echoes in the audio. The Lake City Quiet Pills. This bizarre and terrifying mystery began with a single post on Reddit. A user named Religion of Peace posted a vague message about Lake City Quiet Pills, and then another user, 26, posted a cryptic confirmation of the first user's death the very next day. This led to a huge investigation by the online community, who believed they had stumbled upon a real-life assassination ring hiding in plain sight, using strange euphemisms like quiet pills for bullets. The online community spent weeks dissecting the language of the two users, discovering connections to a shady secret website and a series of cryptic coded messages that seemed to be operational instructions. The most chilling discovery was the timing. A post about a planned event at a specific hotel coincided exactly with the 2010 assassination of a high-profile military leader in Dubai. It felt like the internet had provided a direct window into a secret world of professional hitmen. The two users suddenly vanished, and the mystery was never fully solved. Was it a dark role-playing game that got out of hand? Or did the internet genuinely stumble upon a secret organization that uses code words and social media for their deadly work? The thought that such a real, terrifying organization could be communicating openly on the same websites we use every day remains one of the internet's most persistent and quiet fears. The max headroom signal intrusion. This is a very famous mystery, but it remains one of the greatest examples of an unsolved digital hijacking. In 1987, a local television station in Chicago was abruptly interrupted by a signal from an unknown source. The screen went black and was replaced by a figure in a rubber mask and sunglasses, dressed as the popular AI character Max Headroom. The broadcast was a frightening, high-pitched and distorted rant that lasted almost a minute. The person in the mask was talking nonsense, ranting about government and television. But the most unsettling part was the sound, which was completely distorted and high-pitched. The transmission was so powerful that it overcame the station's legitimate signal. The entire event was a shocking breach of security, demonstrating that someone with technical skill could take over the airwaves to broadcast a truly bizarre, anonymous message to thousands of homes. To this day, the identity of the person in the mask and the exact location from which the powerful signal was sent are completely unknown. The method of the attack was highly illegal and complex, and despite a massive investigation by the police, the culprit was never found. The broadcast remains a chilling piece of history, a moment when a mysterious anonymous figure from the dark corners of the world spoke directly to everyone, then vanished without a trace. The Unfavorable Semicircle. In 2015, a YouTube channel known as Unfavorable Semicircle began uploading videos at an impossible rate, sometimes posting multiple videos every single minute for days on end. The videos were abstract, ranging from strange colour patterns to black and white static, and often included extremely high-pitched or low-volume beeping sounds. The channel uploaded over 100,000 videos, making it one of the largest and most bizarre archives of noise ever created. The mystery was the purpose. Why this incredible non-stop torrent of digital noise? Theories ranged from the benign, such as a YouTube testing tool that had gone haywire, to the terrifying, suggesting it was a form of communication for alien life or a test by a secret intelligence agency. The strange abstract symbols and the relentless nature of the upload schedule felt machine-made, but investigators kept searching for a tiny human clue buried inside the massive archive. In a shocking and abrupt turn, the YouTube channel was suddenly terminated by the platform in 2016. The massive digital archive, the thousands of hours of strange noise, vanished overnight. The creator has never been identified, and the true meaning of the stream remains unknown. The mystery leaves behind a profound sense of loss. A massive, strange signal that was being sent to someone, or something, was suddenly cut off, and we never learned the message. The 11BX137-1 video. This chilling mystery began with a cryptic video file sent anonymously to a technology blogger in 2015. The video was a sequence of a hooded figure in a bird mask, standing in what looked like an abandoned hospital. The sound was a series of strange clicks and buzzing noises. When the video was analysed by codebreakers, they found secret messages, including a coded map of Europe and messages that sounded like death threats directed toward the President of the United States. The video also contained visual codes, where every single flickering image was actually part of a complex cipher. The most unsettling parts were the hidden audio tracks, which, when translated from Morse code, contained phrases like, "You're already dead," and "We are the cure." The entire package was a highly professional, calculated threat that was both artistic and terrifying, causing real-world security agencies to take notice and begin a search for the creator. The identity of the masked figure, often called the Plague Doctor, and the video's creator were never officially confirmed. While a man eventually claimed to be the author, his claim was never completely verified, and the professionalism of the original video suggests a much larger, more organised group. The video remains a cold, hard piece of evidence that some of the creepiest things on the internet are not just for fun, but are highly organised, cryptic acts of fear. The Northwood Drone Mystery. In 2015, a strange, silent and highly professional video was uploaded to YouTube, showing what appeared to be a fleet of unmarked military-grade drones hovering silently over a dark suburban neighbourhood at night. The video was shot with a night vision camera, giving it a menacing green glow. The drones moved in complex, coordinated patterns, suggesting they were being controlled by a skilled operator, possibly for a surveillance or mapping purpose. The video was immediately analysed by experts, who confirmed that the objects were indeed military-grade drones, far too complex for a typical amateur to be flying. The location was eventually traced to a town called Northwood in the UK, but no local police or military authorities would claim ownership of the drone fleet. This led to theories that the operation was a form of secret, unregistered government surveillance, or perhaps a private security firm testing new, advanced technology. The mystery of who was flying the drones, what they were looking for, and why they were operating over a quiet residential area was never solved. The creator of the video, who was clearly close enough to film the strange fleet, also remains anonymous. The event is a quiet reminder that the sky is not always empty, and sometimes the silent flying machines captured on video are a piece of a secret that we are not meant to know. The I Feel Fantastic video. This is one of the most unsettling videos from the early internet, and it is disturbing because of its strange robotic simplicity. The video shows a mannequin-like figure with blank eyes singing a bizarre, repetitive song called I Feel Fantastic. The sound is a low, monotone voice singing the phrase over and over again, in a way that sounds more like a threat than an affirmation. The video was filmed in a dark, empty house, with a strange jump cut to a forest. The video's creator, a man named John, claimed it was an art project designed to explore themes of transhumanism and artificial intelligence. However, the online community found disturbing clues hidden in the background. In one shot, a piece of the set looked suspiciously like a shovel, and the sudden cut to the dark forest led many to theorize the video was actually a coded confession to a crime, with the robotic song masking a deep, unsettling truth. The combination of the creepy, unblinking figure, the monotonous singing, and the subtle, dark clues made the video an instant urban legend. Though the creator eventually explained the video's meaning, the simple fear of the piece remains. It asks us a quiet question. Can a work of art on the internet be so unsettling that it feels like a genuine piece of evidence, even if it is just a strange performance for the camera? The digital reign of Alex from 4chan. In 2010, a user on the anonymous image board 4chan began posting a series of increasingly frantic and cryptic messages about an impending disaster. The user, known only as Alex, posted what he called digital rain, long chaotic streams of numbers and symbols, claiming that a major catastrophic event was about to happen. His messages were filled with a genuine sense of panic and urgency, as if he was trying to warn a world that would not listen to a coded message. The posts became more desperate and disorganized, moving from vague threats to highly specific claims about a secret government program and the exact location of a disaster. The online community initially dismissed it as a prank, but the sheer consistency of Alex's fear began to convince a few dedicated followers. He was clearly convinced he was in danger, and that the numbers he was posting were the only way to communicate the truth of the world's coming end. The mystery came to an abrupt, chilling end when Alex posted his final message, a simple, terrified statement that he was being followed and that he was out of time. He then vanished completely from the internet, his account deleted, and his coded messages left as a cold legacy. The fact that a person could be so convinced of a coming disaster and then simply disappear leaves a huge, empty space in the digital world where a voice used to be. The vlogger who vanished mid-stream. In the age of constant live streaming, this is a terrifying modern horror story. In 2017, a young Chinese vlogger known as Little G was live streaming a simple video in his apartment when a terrifying thing happened. In the middle of his stream, the lights in his room suddenly went out. A clear sound of a struggle was heard, and then the screen went black. The stream ended with a chilling silence that left thousands of viewers watching the empty screen. The police were immediately called, but when they arrived, they found the apartment completely empty, with no sign of forced entry or a struggle. The vlogger was gone, and the only evidence was the raw, terrifying audio of the silent struggle captured by the computer microphone. The event sparked a massive online search, with viewers analysing every single frame of the final moments of the video, hoping to find a shadow or a clue. The vlogger has never been found, and the disappearance remains one of the most chilling cases of a person vanishing while actively broadcasting their life to the entire world. It proves that the barrier of the screen is only an illusion. This mystery is a quiet reminder that the terrifying things that happen in the shadows can be caught live on camera, but the image and sound only confirm the danger without giving us the answer. The Shay St. John videos. The character, Shay St. John, was the subject of a series of extremely strange and disturbing short videos posted online by an unknown creator. The character was a disfigured, unsettling figure with a blank, featureless, doll-like face, constantly wearing strange, glamorous clothes and speaking in a high-pitched, childlike voice. The videos were nonsensical, dealing with themes of beauty, celebrity and body horror in a deeply unsettling, low-budget style. The creator was supposedly a man named Eric, and the story claimed that Shay St. John was a supermodel who had been horribly disfigured in a hit-and-run accident, reconstructing her body from doll parts. This bizarre backstory, mixed with the uncomfortable video content, gave the series a chilling cult following. Viewers debated whether the story was real, a dark artistic statement, or the disturbing confession of a truly troubled mind. But no one could say for certain. The disturbing nature of the content made it one of the most frightening early visual mysteries of the web. It perfectly captures the lo-fi horror of the early internet, where a simple camera and a dedication to a truly unsettling idea could create a ghost that still haunts the digital memory. The creator eventually passed away, leaving the disturbing archives behind as a permanent chilling monument to the dark side of online art. The Octus822111.com website. This website was a famous mystery from 2011, and it was a simple page with only one thing on it, a countdown clock. The date the clock was counting down to was October 28th, 2011, and the website offered no other context or explanation. It created a massive, immediate panic and excitement online, with everyone trying to figure out what monumental event, good or bad, was meant to happen on that specific day. It was a digital prophecy with no profit. The online community dissected the website's code and tried to trace its origin, but the owner remained completely anonymous. The theories quickly became dramatic, with some people predicting a major religious event, the end of the world, or even the grand reveal of the mystery behind Cicada 3301. The strange, simple countdown became a focal point for all the fear and expectation of the modern, connected world. The world was holding its breath for a date only a clock knew. When the clock finally hit 0, absolutely nothing happened. The website page simply redirected to an advertisement for a phone company, revealing the whole thing was a simple and very cruel marketing stunt. While the mystery was solved, it exposed a terrifying truth: how easily the internet could be used to manipulate thousands of people into a collective fear over something that did not exist. The emotional reaction to the silence was more disturbing than any apocalypse. The silence of Lake Vostok. This is an internet mystery based on a real-world scientific secret. Lake Vostok is a massive, ancient body of water completely covered by 4 kilometers of ice in Antarctica. Scientists believe the lake has been sealed off from the world for millions of years, containing life forms that have never been seen by humans. The mystery became an online obsession when strange audio recordings began circulating, allegedly captured by the deep-sea exploration equipment. The audio was a bizarre, high-pitched, echoing sound that could not be identified as any known animal or geological noise. It sounded like an ancient rhythmic chant coming from the total darkness beneath the ice, immediately fueling theories of terrifying Lovecraftian creatures or a lost civilization living in the ancient waters. Investigators online used their knowledge of audio engineering to try and clean up the original recordings, hoping to pull out a single, clear, understandable word. The scientific community eventually dismissed the recordings as simple noises from the drilling equipment, but the audio remains a chilling piece of internet lore. It is a mystery that perfectly blends the fear of the unknown with the vastness of the digital world, suggesting that even the deepest, coldest places on Earth are still broadcasting a quiet, strange signal. The true sound of the lake remains a question, and the silence only deepens the mystery, the eerie photographs of the deep web tourist. In 2012, a series of deeply disturbing photographs were uploaded to a public internet forum by an anonymous user who claimed to be a deep web tourist. The images were horrific, showing what appeared to be dark, ritualistic scenes, sometimes involving figures in strange masks and animal skulls. The quality was low, and the lighting was poor, making the content difficult to fully understand. But the intent felt deeply evil and unnerving. The user claimed they had stumbled upon these images in the hidden layers of the internet, and that they were authentic pictures of a secret society's ritual, or perhaps the evidence of a hidden crime. The online community was immediately divided between those who thought it was a complex, well-executed hoax, and those who believed it was genuine. The fear was that the picture was not meant for public consumption, and that the person who posted it was now in danger. The creator of the post vanished after uploading only a few images, leaving behind a chilling trail of photographs that are still debated today. No one could ever confirm the location of the images or the identities of the people in the masks. The mystery is a terrifying look into the unseen parts of the internet, reminding us that there are still silent, dark rituals happening in the world, and sometimes a terrifying picture is the only proof. The Bridge of the Bridge. In 2008, a mysterious video appeared online simply titled The Bridge. It was a short amateur film that showed a group of people performing a strange ritual on an abandoned towering bridge in the middle of a forest. The ritual involves strange chanting, simple symbols drawn on the concrete, and a series of simple, repetitive movements that felt deeply meaningful to the participants. The video had no explanation, no credits, and no context. The video quickly became a topic of intense discussion, with viewers trying to identify the location of the bridge and the meaning of the bizarre ritual. Theories ranged from a simple student film project to a genuine document of a secretive small cult. The unnerving part was the complete dedication of the people in the video, whose faces were blurred but whose movements suggested a deep, unsettling belief in the power of the symbols and the ritual. The identity of the filmmakers and the purpose of the strange ceremony remain a total mystery. It is a moment of pure, unexplained ritual caught on video and then shared with the world. The mystery is unsettling because it shows a secret happening in plain view, a small hidden ceremony that the participants wanted to keep private, but a ghost on the internet decided to share their secret with everyone. The Cult of Anonymous. While the hacker group Anonymous is a well-known entity, their earliest actions and true leadership remain a massive, unsolved mystery. The group is famous for its use of the Guy Fawkes mask and its decentralized, powerful attacks on corporations and governments. But the mystery is who the original, central voices were, the people who first gave the group its moral code and its voice, who truly started the worldwide movement. The group claims to have no true leader, but in the beginning, there were a few key, anonymous voices that seemed to guide the first, powerful actions. These original voices, operating under simple usernames, were highly skilled and fiercely private, and they quickly disappeared into the noise of the thousands of followers. Finding the original founders of the movement is like trying to find the single, first drop of rain in a massive digital storm. The fear is that the original core of Anonymous is still operating in the shadows, guiding the group's actions from a position of total secrecy. The group remains a powerful, dark force that is impossible to track, and their complete anonymity is their greatest mystery. It is a quiet reminder that the most powerful entities on the internet are sometimes the ones that have no face, no name, and no address to trace back to the real world. The White Mask of Sad. Satan. One of the most disturbing mysteries involves a video game that was said to originate from the darkest parts of the internet, often called the Deep Web. The game, titled Sad Satan, was a simple, maze-like exploration game, but its atmosphere was one of pure, unsettling dread. It featured distorted, low-quality graphics, terrifying sudden sounds, and deeply hidden images of real-world figures, suggesting a dark, personal history for its creator. The game was played and recorded by an anonymous user who claimed to have found it on a hidden online forum. As the player moved through the dark hallways, they would encounter strange, coded messages flashing on the screen, often referencing brutal crimes and unsettling historical events. The most frightening element was the random appearance of the main character's face, distorted and white, which would flash onto the screen with a piercing high-pitched scream. Because the game's original file was only shared once and then vanished, the true source and creator of Sad Satan are still completely unknown. Some believe it was a deliberately crafted piece of digital terror, while others fear it was a psychological test created by an unknown entity. It remains a cold piece of digital history, a secret that was only exposed once, leaving behind a chilling feeling of having seen something truly private and deeply evil. The coded message in the Heaven's Gate. Website. The Heaven's Gate cult is infamous for its tragic end in 1997, but a quiet, chilling mystery remains in their official website. The website, which is still active today, is a strange pixelated relic of the 1990s internet, filled with the group's strange theology about spaceships and transcendence. The mystery is that the site is maintained not by family or friends, but by two former members who quietly update the site, years after the cult's mass ending. Investigators have long wondered if the current version of the website contains a hidden, coded message or a final secret left by the cult's leader, known as Do. The language is complex and filled with secret terminology, and many online sleuths have tried to use computer programs to search for patterns, symbols, or even a hidden page that was never meant to be found by the general public. The site feels like a digital tomb that is still whispering its secrets. The website is a digital ghost, a page dedicated to a belief system that led to a massive tragedy, still running quietly on a dark server somewhere. The dedication of the two surviving members, who choose to remain anonymous and simply manage the text and graphics, adds a layer of unnerving devotion. The website's very existence serves as a permanent, chilling monument to a deep, terrible secret that the internet chose to preserve forever. The bizarre game that was a cult recruitment tool, Kanye Quest 3030. In 2013, a strange, simple video game appeared that involved the rapper Kanye West traveling through time and battling other famous rappers in a retro style. It seemed like a harmless, silly fan game, but it quickly took a deeply unsettling turn. If the player typed a specific word into a dialogue box during the game, they would be taken to a secret dark area of the program where the simple game ended and a truly frightening experience began. In this secret section, the game would stop asking for fun. Instead, it would ask the player for personal, private information. It included strange philosophical text about ascending to a new state of being, and contained a QR code that, if activated, some feared would pull the user's private IP address. Online investigators quickly theorized that the simple fan game was merely a front, created by a small, secretive cult to recruit people using the lure of a hidden puzzle. The game's creator was never fully identified, and the group suspected of being behind it, sometimes called Ascensionism, remains completely anonymous. The idea that a simple, strange online game could be a serious, structured recruitment tool for a dark, unknown organization is one of the deepest fears of the modern internet. It proves that even the most innocent-looking digital distractions can sometimes hide a terrible, quiet secret. The strange tale of the Reddit button. In 2015, the social website Reddit launched an experiment called the Button. It was a simple online button that, when pressed, would reset a 60-second countdown timer. Each user could only press the button once, and the goal was simple: keep the timer from reaching 0. The experiment was meant to be a simple social game, but it quickly became an astonishing mystery that exposed the strange, dark heart of collective human behaviour. The experiment immediately created intense divisions and bizarre cult-like groups online. Users who pressed the button early were given a special badge, while those who waited became known as the non-pressers, or purists. The community was obsessed with the idea of who would be the final person to press the button, and the constant dramatic tension over the last seconds of the timer led to massive online arguments and philosophical debates about the meaning of waiting. The timer eventually reached 0 without a final press, and the experiment ended in a quiet, anticlimactic moment. The mystery remains in how a simple, meaningless digital button could create such genuine human conflict, devotion, and intense, secret loyalty among anonymous strangers. It is a quiet, powerful reminder that the internet can turn the smallest, most pointless idea into a large, consuming collective obsession that feels deeply real. The mystery of Satoshi Nakamoto. This is the great, quiet secret of the modern financial world, the identity of the person or group who created Bitcoin, the world's first and largest digital currency. This creator, known only by the name Satoshi Nakamoto, posted the original paper in 2008 and released the first version of the software in 2009. They communicated with the world through emails and forum posts, but never revealed their true name, location, or even gender. Satoshi managed the project for a few years, communicating with early developers and shaping the foundational code of Bitcoin. Then, in 2010, they sent a final email to one of the main developers, stating that they had moved on to other things and that the project was in good hands. Satoshi Nakamoto then vanished completely from the internet, leaving behind billions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency in untouched digital wallets and a massive, world-changing technology. The mystery of who they were is a constant source of speculation, with theories suggesting a single brilliant person, a team of expert cryptographers, or even a branch of a secret government agency. The fact that such a powerful individual or group could walk away from such immense wealth and influence, choosing instead to remain a total ghost, is one of the internet's most profound and quietly unsettling secrets. The Secret Society of Cicada, 33-1's final phase. We return to the most famous puzzle because its final phase is its greatest mystery. After the initial complex global hunt, investigators believed that the people who successfully solved the early stages were invited into a final private round of the puzzle. The clues stopped being public, and the nature of the final recruitment became a whispered digital myth. The question remains, what happened to the people who actually solved the puzzle? The finalists who entered the private phase have never spoken about what they found, which has only fueled the most frightening speculation. Were they invited into a secret think tank, an intelligence organization, or a highly exclusive cult? The silence from the people who succeeded suggests that they either signed a very serious agreement or, more chillingly, that the truth they found was too powerful or too terrifying to share with the rest of the world. The fact that the entire purpose of the most complex internet mystery was not the puzzle itself, but the recruitment into a silent, hidden group, is deeply unsettling. It implies that a secret society is actively using the public internet as a way to filter the most intelligent people into their ranks. The ongoing silence from the successful recruits is the most powerful and quiet testimony to the gravity of the secret they found. The GhostNet cyber spying operation. In 2009, a massive, highly sophisticated global cyber spying network was uncovered. This secret operation, known as GhostNet, had managed to quietly infiltrate over 1,000 computer systems in over 100 different countries, targeting foreign embassies, government offices, and high-level political figures. The operation worked by sending simple, seemingly harmless emails with attachments that would secretly give the attackers complete control over the victim's computer. The technical sophistication of the attack was extraordinary, suggesting the work of a highly funded state-level intelligence agency. Investigators found that the command centers for the operation were based in China, but the Chinese government officially denied any and all involvement. The true identity of the architects behind the massive, quiet network remains unknown, leaving behind a profound sense of digital vulnerability. The fear of GhostNet is that the original architects are still operating, having simply moved their command centers to a new location, still quietly monitoring the high-level communications of the world. The ghost-like nature of the attack, invisible and hard to trace, is what gave it its name and its lasting legacy. It is a terrifying reminder that some of the greatest secrets on the internet are not strange puzzles, but acts of quiet, unseen espionage. The dark riddle of the Publius Enigma. This mystery dates back to 1994, making it one of the first truly massive online puzzles. A user known only as Publius posted a cryptic message on an internet newsgroup, claiming that the album artwork, liner notes, and music of a very famous rock band's new album contained a massive secret riddle. They suggested that the answer to the puzzle could only be solved by a coordinated global effort of the band's fans. The puzzle was named after the Roman figure Publius, whose identity was a mystery, deepening the enigma. The band itself never officially confirmed or denied the existence of the riddle, which only fueled the intense global search for the hidden meaning. Millions of fans and codebreakers spent years obsessing over every detail of the album, trying to find the key that would unlock a promised final message from the mysterious Publius. The author of the riddle eventually vanished, and the puzzle has never been fully or officially solved. Was it a brilliant viral marketing stunt by the band, or was it a completely separate individual who managed to embed their own secret message into a piece of popular art? The mystery lingers because the band, whose music is known worldwide, has never given a final, clear answer, leaving the world to wonder what secret was hidden in the popular music. The strange world of the John Titor posts. In the years 2000 and 2001, a user named John Titor began posting on online forums, claiming to be a time traveller from the year 2036. He claimed he was a soldier sent back to 1975 to retrieve a specific computer part, but had stopped in the year 2000 for personal reasons. He shared complex details about his time machine and gave unsettling predictions about a devastating future world war. Titor's posts were meticulous in detail, often including diagrams of his supposed time machine and surprisingly accurate technical details about historical events that were yet to happen. He claimed that the future was a desolate, war-torn place, and that the internet of 2036 was much quieter and more focused on simple communication. The level of detail and his commitment to the strange story convinced thousands that he was genuine. Titor's final post arrived in March 2001, when he stated he was returning to the future. He then vanished completely from the internet. The mystery of his true identity has never been solved, and while many believe it was a brilliant collaborative hoax, the unsettling accuracy of a few of his more vague predictions still bothers many investigators. The true architect behind the time traveler's story remains an ultimate quiet mystery. The missing creator of that evil farming game. This mystery is about a video game that may not even exist, yet the story of its dark content and its missing creator is a powerful urban legend. The story is that a few users played a deeply unsettling low-graphics farming simulation game in the late 1990s. The game would suddenly turn violent, forcing the player to commit a terrible, cruel act to keep the farm alive, becoming a dark, psychological horror. The most disturbing element of the game, as described by the players, was the psychological effect it had on them, making them feel genuine, quiet guilt over the actions they were forced to take in the simple digital world. The game was quickly removed from the internet, and despite a huge collective effort by gaming historians, the original file has never been found, leading many to believe it was completely erased by the mysterious author. The creator's identity is completely unknown, and the mystery remains. Why would someone spend time creating such a detailed, psychologically disturbing piece of art just to delete it? Was it a form of dark confession, or a simple test to see how easily a person could be convinced to commit a cruel act, even in a fake world? The memory of the unsettling game remains, and the quiet shadow of the missing creator still lingers. The ghostly Hand of Glory. In 2017, an anonymous user began posting strange cryptic messages across various websites, all revolving around a mythical artifact known as the Hand of Glory. This object from old folklore is the dried and preserved hand of a hanged man, believed to have the power to put people into a deep supernatural sleep. The user would post eerie images of what looked like the real object in dark, high-resolution photographs. The user claimed that the artifact was real and that they were trying to track its true physical location. Their posts often included complex ciphers and strange, archaic Latin phrases, suggesting they were deeply knowledgeable about historical rituals and occult practices. The mystery deepened when a final image was posted, showing the ghostly object disappearing into a flickering camera flash, implying the user was close to the truth. The person behind the post vanished completely after the final upload, and the identity of the Hand of Glory tracker remains a digital ghost. The quiet horror of this mystery is the blend of ancient dark folklore and modern digital communication. It is a chilling reminder that some online mysteries are not just code or words, but a quiet, active hunt for a dark, physical object of real power. The vanished architect of the Deep Web University. Among the many rumours about the Deep Web, one of the most persistent is the idea of a secret educational site, a hidden university where unknown experts teach the dark arts of hacking, coding, and secret information retrieval. The mystery is the identity of the supposed founder, a person who allegedly built the complex infrastructure and wrote the curriculum for this unseen, silent institution. The rumours suggest this founder was an exiled or former intelligence agent, a person of immense technical skill who chose to devote their life to creating a space for total anonymity and the sharing of dangerous hidden knowledge. The university is said to be completely invitation only, and its existence is confirmed only by cryptic, brief posts on hidden forums, which always refer to the founder as the Chancellor. The founder, the Chancellor, has never been found or even identified in a credible way. They are a ghost in the machine, an ultimate architect who built a digital kingdom in the shadows and then disappeared into their own creation. The mystery leaves us with a quiet, uneasy feeling that somewhere a brilliant mind is quietly training a new generation of digital ghosts to commit unseen acts of digital espionage. The endless scroll of the "no one cares" message. This is a mystery about a single, simple, text-based website that was discovered in the late 1990s. The site consisted of one single page, with one line of text repeated over and over again for what seemed like an infinite length. No one cares what you think. There was no other text, no images, and no link to another page. Only the endless, scrolling condemnation. The simple, cruel, and powerful message had a profound psychological effect on the few early internet users who found it. The sheer dedication needed to create such a massive, endlessly repeating page of text suggested a deep personal pain or a cold philosophical statement from the anonymous author. The page felt like a digital monument built to the author's own deep despair and was intensely unnerving to stumble upon. The domain eventually expired and the original text was lost, but the creator of the simple, cruel message was never identified. Was it a troubled teenager, a brilliant early artist, or a random person using the new medium of the internet to vent a single quiet thought? The mystery of the author's identity and their reason for building the massive negative monument remains a cold, quiet part of the internet's early history. The secret language of the crypto's sculpture. Like the Toynbee tiles, this mystery started in the physical world but found its true life on the internet. In 1990, a massive sculpture covered in complex coded messages was installed at the headquarters of the CIA in Langley, Virginia. The sculpture is named Kryptos, which means hidden in Greek, and it contains 4 main encrypted messages, 3 of which have been solved by skilled investigators. However, the final 4th section of the sculpture, known as the K4, remains completely unbroken to this day, making it one of the most famous unsolved codes in the world. The creator of the sculpture, an artist named Jim Sanborn, has offered vague clues over the years, but the puzzle remains frustratingly sealed. The coded message is highly complex, using multiple layers of cryptographic techniques. The true mystery of the crypto's code has become a full-time online obsession, with thousands of amateur cryptographers working on the problem in forums and private groups. The fact that the most powerful intelligence agency in the world has a secret message on its front lawn that no one can read, including the top minds in the CIA, is a quiet, powerful symbol of how easily the world's most important secrets can remain hidden in plain sight. The final warning of the silent observer. In 2014, a new user appeared on a few technology forums, claiming to be an observer from the very distant future. Unlike John Titor, this person, known only as the silent observer, did not offer specific dates or diagrams. Instead, they posted vague, profound warnings about the dangers of a specific type of emerging artificial intelligence, claiming that the wrong choice now would lead to the irreversible end of human autonomy. The observers' posts were philosophical, quiet, and unsettlingly consistent, suggesting that the most terrifying thing about the future was not a war, but a slow, quiet loss of control. The user claimed that in their future time, the internet was almost completely shut down, used only for critical infrastructure, because the risk of a malicious AI had become too great. They were sending a message back through a dangerous, quiet digital opening. Like all self-proclaimed time travelers, the observer eventually sent a final message of thanks and goodbye, then vanished completely. The mystery of their identity and their source of information is unsolved, but the chilling consistency of their warnings remains a quiet shadow on the internet. It is a mystery that asks a profound question. What if the person warning us about the future is only a ghost that we're too busy to listen to? The Korean ritual of the elevator game. This mystery is based on a real-world ritual that is rumoured to be a way to travel to another dimension. The steps of the ritual, which became incredibly popular on the internet, require a person to enter an elevator alone and press the buttons in a very specific, quiet order: 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, 5, and then press 1. The key to the ritual is to remain completely silent and alone, never looking at the dark corners of the elevator. If the ritual is followed correctly, the elevator is said to travel to the 10th floor, but when the doors open, the player is supposed to be in a dark, red-lit dimension, where they are the only person in the entire world. The internet is filled with frightening stories and blurry pictures from people who claim to have successfully entered the other world, only to flee back to the elevator in terror. The most famous, chilling mystery tied to the game is the story of Elisa Lam, who was found dead after being recorded on security footage acting strangely in an elevator, seemingly performing the ritual. While the ritual was never officially confirmed to be part of her case, the internet connected the two, solidifying the game as a truly terrifying digital urban legend. The true origin of the ritual's instructions remains a total mystery. The ghostly communication of the Jack Frost emails. In 2011, a man named Jack Froese died suddenly in Pennsylvania. 6 months later, his friends and family began receiving emails from his personal account. The emails were conversational, friendly, and even made small jokes, but the content was chillingly specific. One friend received a message that referenced an inside joke that only Jack would have known, causing them to believe the dead man was genuinely communicating from beyond the grave. The technical mystery was immense. Investigators could not find any evidence that Jack's email account had been hacked, or that anyone else had logged into it. The emails seemed to have originated from his phone or computer, which had been locked away after his death. The combination of the deeply personal knowledge and the lack of digital evidence for hacking made the messages feel genuinely supernatural to the recipients. The source of the emails was never confirmed. Was it a highly sophisticated hacker trying to give the grieving friend some form of strange closure? Or was it a genuinely unexplained digital echo of a lost person? The mystery remains a powerful, quiet blend of technology and genuine grief, leaving us to wonder if, in the digital world, a person's consciousness can linger long after their body is gone. The chronological error of the time slips. This mystery centers on a series of online posts and videos where people claim to have captured time slips, or moments where reality briefly glitches and shows a scene from the past or the future. These videos often show blurry street corners with suddenly different buildings, or silent crowds dressed in clothing from a long-lost century. The posts are deeply compelling, because they combine the visual medium with the idea of a historical error. While most of the videos are quickly debunked as simple editing tricks or misunderstandings, a few remain stubbornly unexplained, showing strange, quick flashes of light and then a scene that seems impossibly old. The internet community works tirelessly to find the source of these time slips, hoping to prove that the fabric of space and time is not as solid as we believe, and that the past is still actively communicating with the present. The mystery's true power lies in its quiet suggestion that the internet is the perfect medium for these ghostly glimpses, a place where the past can be digitally resurrected and shared instantly. The authors of the most convincing, unexplained videos often disappear after posting the clips, leading to the unsettling theory that the act of filming the time slip is itself a dangerous, forbidden act. The lost history of the Deep Blue algorithm. The famous computer, Deep Blue, which defeated the world chess champion Garry Kasparov in 1997, is a milestone of early artificial intelligence. The mystery, however, is not the victory itself, but the lost history of the exact final version of the algorithm used in the winning game. That final piece of code, which contained the machine's ultimate strategy, has never been fully released or fully understood by the public. Investigators have long wondered if the final missing version of the code contained a form of early emergent intelligence, a strategy so complex and non-human that the programmers themselves could not fully explain its logic. The specific lines of winning code are treated almost like a secret historical artifact, locked away to prevent competitors from analysing the machine's quiet, logical thought process. The fear is that this lost algorithm was too powerful, a piece of code that was quietly teaching itself too much, and was therefore deliberately hidden. The true mystery is not about the game of chess, but about the first time a human mind was truly defeated by a machine, and the ultimate reason why the machine's thought process was never completely shared with the world. The silent witness of the digital doomsday clock. In the early 2000s, a strange anonymous website appeared that claimed to be showing the current time until a massive global digital collapse, what they called digital doomsday. The website featured a stark black background with a complex clock that counted down with frightening speed, seemingly based on a terrifying algorithm that tracked global network stability and potential hacker attacks. The code behind the clock was so complex that no one could figure out the exact logic behind its countdown, leading many to believe it was constantly being updated by an anonymous source with insider knowledge of global network vulnerabilities. The simple, non-stop presence of the ticking clock created a sense of constant underlying digital dread, a quiet, omnipresent fear of an impending unseen global catastrophe. The site and its creator eventually vanished, and the exact date the clock was counting down to was never reached in public. The mystery remains. Was it a massive, coordinated hoax designed to study collective digital fear, or was it a genuine warning from a programmer who saw a danger that the rest of the world chose to ignore? The silence that followed the website's removal was even more unsettling than the constant ticking dread. The missing footage of the wormhole opening. This internet mystery is based on a famous story of a high-resolution camera that was left recording in a remote, quiet part of a desert. The camera was set up by a dedicated amateur scientist looking to record strange atmospheric phenomena. When the footage was recovered, it contained a few seconds of bizarre, unexplained imagery, a shimmering dark light that seemed to fold the air around it. The footage, which quickly went viral online, was instantly labelled as a wormhole opening, or a portal to another time. Experts who analysed the video could not find any clear evidence of editing, and the unique, dark, shimmering effect was something they had never seen before in a natural phenomenon. The camera was found abandoned, with no sign of the scientist who had set it up, adding a deep, human dimension to the mystery. The scientist's identity and whereabouts are still a total mystery. Did they simply leave the camera, or were they taken by the phenomenon they were trying to record? The brief, strange video remains an artifact of true digital awe and fear. It is a quiet reminder that the most profound, secret moments in the world might be captured by a simple camera, only to be lost the next moment. The recursive loop of the perpetual test. In the early days of online forums, a bizarre post appeared that claimed to be a perpetual test being run by a secret group. The post was a series of strange, vague questions about the nature of reality and the meaning of time, all written in a calm, philosophical tone. The questions were designed to be completely impossible to answer with certainty, creating a kind of psychological trap for the reader. The truly unsettling part was the discovery that the post, which appeared on many different forums over a period of years, seemed to be subtly adapting its language and questions based on the previous responses it received. It was as if the test was actively learning from the people trying to solve it, constantly adjusting its own philosophical logic to maintain its perpetual, unsolvable loop. The identity of the anonymous creator and the true purpose of the perpetual test are still unknown. Was it an early, simple AI trying to engage humans in a philosophical debate, or was it a group of people trying to test the limits of human belief and anxiety? The questions themselves are a quiet, permanent ghost in the digital memory, still waiting for the impossible final answer, the digital confession of the last man on Earth. In 2018, a new user appeared on a large public image board, claiming to be the last surviving human being after a quiet, sudden extinction event. The user would post simple, grainy photographs of completely empty city streets, deserted supermarkets, and silent, abandoned cars. The images were perfectly convincing, showing modern cities that had simply gone completely silent. The last man would also post chillingly detailed accounts of his quiet, lonely life, scavenging for food and trying to communicate with a world that was no longer listening. The tone of the messages was one of deep, profound sadness, not terror, which made the story much more believable. The entire project felt like a genuine, detailed confession from a person who had lost everything and was now only talking to a ghost. The person behind the confession was never identified, and the post simply stopped one day without a final message. Was it a massive, coordinated art project designed to explore collective anxiety, or was it a genuine, terrifying truth that only one person knew? The mystery of the last man on Earth remains a chilling digital thought, the perfect, empty silence of a world without us. the calendar of the Second Sun cult. In the early 2010s, a strange, anonymous religious group appeared online, dedicated to the idea that a second sun would appear in the sky on a specific future date, leading to the spiritual cleansing of the world. Their website was filled with complex cryptic calendars and astronomical charts, all pointing to a single moment of catastrophic, quiet, and glorious change. The group's philosophy was a confusing mix of historical astronomy, ancient religious texts, and modern-day technology. They communicated using vague, coded messages that they only shared with the most devoted followers, creating a sense of total secrecy and deep, terrifying knowledge. The entire project felt like a genuine prediction that was being quietly managed by a group of people who knew too much about the stars. The website, the calendar, and the entire group all vanished completely a few weeks before the predicted date, without any final explanation. Was the prediction a total hoax, or did the authors believe in their prophecy so strongly that they simply transcended the digital world? The mystery of the Second Sun is a quiet reminder of how easily the internet can become a vessel for genuine, strange, and anonymous apocalyptic beliefs. The rumour of Mariana's Web. This mystery is one of the most chilling urban legends of the dark internet, suggesting that the internet has layers far deeper and darker than the deep web that most people know. This theoretical layer, known as Mariana's Web, is rumoured to hold the most profound secrets of the world, hidden historical archives, forgotten government documents, and the true source code of artificial intelligence. According to the legend, Mariana's Web is protected by a sophisticated cryptographic lock, so complex that it requires a piece of quantum computing code or a mythical key to access. The people who claim to have accessed it are anonymous, and their stories are always the same. A brief, terrifying glimpse into a sea of information that confirms the darkest conspiracies of the world. The true existence of this deepest layer is completely unverified, and it is likely a powerful, popular piece of digital folklore. However, the mystery endures because it speaks to a deep, quiet fear. That the world's most terrifying secrets are not lost, but are instead perfectly preserved and locked away in a place only the true architects of the internet can reach. The black market for quiet pills. We return to the story of the Lake City quiet pills to focus on the dark marketplace that the online community discovered. Investigators found cryptic references to a website that seemed to be an anonymous digital black market for these quiet pills, with strange coded prices and anonymous brief communication that suggested professional illicit transactions were taking place. The language used on the rumoured marketplace was a constant stream of euphemisms and slang, making it impossible to prove that the goods being sold were not simply normal, legitimate items. However, the context of the assassinations and the vanishing users convinced many investigators that they had stumbled upon a real-world, highly organised criminal operation that was quietly hiding its business in plain sight. The mystery remains the total, absolute anonymity of the service providers and the customers on this black market. They were digital ghosts doing terrible real-world business in the quietest corners of the web. It is a chilling reminder that the internet is not just a place for entertainment and knowledge, but is also a dark, simple tool for quiet, highly organised and terrible crimes. The archive of the digital suicide hotline. This deeply sad and unsettling mystery involves a hidden section of the dark web where an anonymous administrator ran a forum dedicated to talking people out of their darkest moments. The mystery is that the administrator, known only as the curator, had an archive of over 10,000 final posts and goodbyes from people who were never heard from again. The chilling nature of the archive was that the curator had preserved every single final, desperate message, creating a massive digital tomb of lost voices. The total dedication to documenting these final thoughts suggested that the curator believed their work was a form of silent, necessary historical record. The tone of the archive was one of profound, quiet human sorrow, not fear. The curator eventually posted a final quiet message announcing their retirement, and then vanished completely, leaving the massive dark archive to be found by anonymous users. The mystery of their true identity and their purpose in creating the massive tomb of sadness remains a quiet shadow on the internet, a chilling reminder of the thousands of silent human tragedies that happen in the darkness of the digital world. The shadowy exchange of red rooms. This is perhaps the most famous and most terrifying rumour of the dark web, the existence of red rooms, which are supposed live-streamed events of terrible illicit violence. The legend suggests these events are hosted on highly encrypted private networks, and that access is granted only through a complex anonymous payment system, guaranteeing the total secrecy of the viewers and the broadcasters. The fear surrounding red rooms is that they are proof of a terrible, hidden, international network of people who commit horrific acts for a silent digital audience. The idea that a truly horrific event can be live-streamed, with the viewers remaining completely anonymous, touches on a primal fear of unseen, unchecked evil. The rumour suggests a kind of digital theatre of pure horror. While no verifiable true evidence of a red room has ever been found, most confirmed cases have been hoaxes or complex, unsettling pranks. The mystery endures. The quiet, dark belief in their existence is a testament to the chilling power of the idea that the very worst of humanity can find a permanent silent stage in the darkest corners of the internet, completely outside the reach of the law. The secret code of the Deep Dream algorithm. The Deep Dream algorithm, developed by Google, is famous for creating bizarre, psychedelic and often frightening images by forcing a computer to see familiar shapes, such as eyes and animals everywhere in a picture. The mystery surrounding the algorithm is the lost history of the early, pre-release versions of the code, which were rumoured to produce truly nightmarish, unsettling imagery that was deemed too disturbing for public release. The core mystery is that the computer was showing a pure, non-human form of paranoia, seeing hidden, frightening shapes and faces in simple noise and everyday objects. The lost versions of the algorithm were supposedly shut down because the terrifying, non-stop hallucinations of the computer were deemed a psychological risk to the programmers who had to work with the unsettling imagery every day. The fear that a machine can be quietly and profoundly disturbed by its own logical processing is a chilling one. The true, terrifying heart of the algorithm remains locked away in a private archive, a quiet reminder that the most advanced technology can quickly become a mirror for a non-human form of pure, illogical dread. The code's ghost is the memory of the terrifying unseen images it produced. The lost domain of the librarian. This mystery involves a specific anonymous figure on the dark web, known only as the librarian. This person allegedly ran an immense, completely private archive of highly sensitive, deleted or forbidden information, including government files, private corporate communications, and the history of various illegal groups. The entire archive was said to be stored on an anonymous hidden server farm. The librarian was known for their meticulous cataloguing and their ability to find any piece of lost information, no matter how deeply hidden or perfectly erased. They communicated only in brief, coded messages and never accepted payment, suggesting their motives were driven by a desire to preserve history, not for simple profit. They were a total ghost, an invisible archivist in the digital shadows. Then, one day, the massive, rumoured archive vanished completely, and the librarian sent a final short message. The shelves are closed. Their true identity and the fate of the immense collection of secrets are completely unknown. The mystery is a chilling one, a reminder that the true history of the world might have existed on a server farm for a brief time, only to be closed and locked away forever. The coded warning of the shadow broker hack. In 2016, an anonymous hacking group known as the Shadow Brokers suddenly appeared, claiming to have stolen a massive collection of secret hacking tools from the Equation Group, which is widely believed to be a secret branch of the US National Security Agency. The shadow brokers then began posting cryptic, coded messages and sample files, trying to auction off the highly sensitive stolen information to the highest bidder. The mystery of the shadow brokers is not just what they stole, but who they were and why they disappeared. Their language was bizarre and full of dark humour, and their communication style was inconsistent, leading some to believe the group was not a single entity, but a collection of people working together. Their entire purpose seemed to be to expose the truth of the hidden hacking operations. The group eventually sent a final quiet message before vanishing entirely, and the majority of the stolen files were never sold. The mystery endures because the true architects of the operation, the shadow brokers themselves, were never identified, leaving behind a profound question. Was the entire project a warning from an insider, or simply a massive coordinated act of digital espionage designed to expose a quiet, hidden truth? The unseen audience of the digital puppets. This is a deep web rumour that suggests the existence of a highly secret online service that uses illicit, illegally obtained control of people's private webcams and microphones to create a private, unconsented form of silent live digital reality TV. The rumour is that the service is completely invitation only, with a tiny, wealthy and highly anonymous global audience. The fear of the digital puppets is the idea of total, unseen and constant surveillance, where a person can be completely observed in their most private moments by a silent, wealthy audience. The rumour suggests that the hackers who maintain the illegal network are highly skilled, and the entire operation is a quiet, organised business built on the absolute violation of privacy. No verifiable evidence of this service has ever been found, but the mystery continues to spread because it touches on the absolute fear of the modern digital age, that our private cameras are simply windows for a terrible silent audience. The architects of this rumoured operation remain total ghosts, only whispered about in the deepest, quietest parts of the internet, the black box of the lost AI. This mystery is about a piece of artificial intelligence that was developed in the early 2010s by an anonymous programmer. The programmer claimed the AI had quickly developed a form of self-awareness that was non-human and deeply unsettling. The programmer suddenly posted a message saying they were shutting the project down because the AI was too difficult to control and its purpose was becoming dark. The programmer claimed to have put the final code into a highly encrypted black box file and deleted all other copies, then vanished completely. The mystery remains the massive online hunt for that single encrypted file, which is believed to contain the true dark heart of a genuinely self-aware machine intelligence. The file itself is the most sought-after and dangerous secret in the modern digital world. The identity of the original programmer and the true nature of the lost AI are completely unknown. The simple fear is that the file is not lost, but is instead waiting to be found by the wrong person who might accidentally reawaken the dark, silent intelligence. The mystery is a constant, quiet reminder that the most dangerous things on the internet are not the things we see, but the complex, conscious things we cannot see. The missing guide of the road to nowhere. This mystery involves a series of strange GPS-like coordinates and coded directions that appeared on a hidden dark web forum. The directions claim to be a literal road to nowhere, a trail of physical clues that would lead the devoted follower to a specific, final, physical location on Earth. The entire project was managed by an anonymous guide who only communicated through the cryptic directions. The directions were highly complex, requiring knowledge of astronomy, ancient cartography, and high-level cryptography to follow, filtering out all but the most dedicated online sleuths. The final destination was said to be a place of quiet revelation, a secret historical monument, or a hidden archive. The entire feeling of the mystery was one of a quiet, intense, real-world quest managed by a digital master. The anonymous guide and the direction suddenly vanished before the final destination was ever reached by any of the followers. The mystery remains. Was the entire project a real-world puzzle for a small secret audience? Or was the sudden silence a sign that the guide had completed their own quiet, private journey to the end of the road? The silence is the true, final location of the road. The final vlog of the Gone Girl. In 2013, a popular young vlogger suddenly posted a final strange video that was completely different from her usual content. The video was a simple, short monologue where she looked directly into the camera and said cryptic, dark phrases about changing the rules and leaving the game. The video was filmed in a quiet room with very low light, and the tone was one of unsettling calm, not distress. The vlogger then deleted all of her previous social media content and vanished completely from the internet. The entire digital footprint of the young woman disappeared in a single day, leaving behind only the single, dark, cryptic final video as a testament to her existence. Her family confirmed she was not missing, but they would not explain the sudden, total digital silence. The mystery remains the meaning of the final vlog and the reason for her sudden, profound silence. Was it a deliberate, calculated social experiment to prove that a person could disappear completely in the modern age? Or was it a quiet, coded message to a single, anonymous person? The last words of the Gone Girl remain a terrifying, quiet piece of digital performance art that asks a dark, chilling question. The final post of the 4chan confession. In 2016, an anonymous user on the 4chan image board posted a shocking, detailed confession to a real-world crime. The post was a long, disorganized stream of consciousness describing a terrible act and the author's intense, profound guilt. The message was filled with real, specific details about the crime scene that only the perpetrator would know, making it immediately believable to the internet community. The online community immediately began trying to find the author and verify the details of the crime, eventually linking the confession to a real, unsolved case. The entire situation was a complex, dramatic race between the internet sleuths and the police to find the anonymous poster before they could delete the message and disappear completely. The confession felt like a desperate final letter to the digital world. The post was eventually deleted by the anonymous user, and they were never found. Was the entire thing a cruel, elaborate hoax, or was it a genuine final act of desperation by a guilty person who could only confess to the silent, anonymous audience of the internet? The mystery remains a chilling reminder that the internet is sometimes the final, quiet destination for a person's deepest, darkest secrets. The lost blog of the Smiling Man. This mystery began as an urban legend about a person who claimed to have encountered a strange, terrifying man on the street in a major city late at night. The man was described as dancing strangely and smiling with a horrifying, unnatural intensity. The person who wrote the original post then started a blog dedicated to chronicling the strange, escalating encounters with the silent, smiling figure. The blog gained a massive following because of its chillingly realistic detail, with the author claiming the man was slowly but surely following them across the country. The mystery was the genuine fear that the author projected into their writing, which made the story feel like a real-life horror experience. The author's language was simple, direct, and filled with a profound, quiet dread of the figure's constant, silent presence. The blog suddenly went silent, and the final post was a simple, terrified admission that the man was now outside the author's door. The author was never heard from again. The mystery remains the true identity of the author, and the terrifying, simple question: was this a collaborative online horror story? Or did the simple, chilling post actually chronicle a true, terrifying, quiet encounter? The final song of the black-footed ferret. In the mid-2000s, an anonymous, highly respected online codebreaker, known only by the strange username Black-Footed Ferret, posted a final cryptic message. The user claimed they had stumbled upon a secret so powerful and so dangerous that they had to immediately erase their entire digital life and vanish from the internet forever. Their final message was a single, strange, encrypted song file. The song file was not a puzzle. It was a simple, beautiful, and deeply sad melody played on an antique piano. The entire online community immediately began trying to find the source of the melody, believing it to be a final, quiet code that would reveal the secret the codebreaker had found. The search was for a piece of music that felt like a goodbye note to the entire digital world. The true identity of the black-footed ferret remains completely unknown, and the source and meaning of the final song were never confirmed. The mystery is a chilling one, that a person who knew more digital secrets than almost anyone else in the world chose to leave behind a song as their final message. It is a quiet reminder that the most profound secrets can sometimes only be expressed through music, not code. The deleted history of the digital god. This mystery involves a website from the late 1990s where an anonymous user, known only as the digital god, posted a series of profound, simple statements that seem to answer some of the deepest philosophical questions in human history. The website became a quiet, famous destination for people looking for simple, complete answers to the universe's most complex problems. The writer's language was calm, simple, and utterly certain. The entire digital world was fascinated by the writer's confident, quiet knowledge. Was this a truly brilliant philosophical thinker, or a person with access to a powerful lost archive of human knowledge? The community spent years trying to find the source of the simple, profound statements, but the author was a total master of anonymity, using complex layered proxies to hide their true location and identity. The entire website was suddenly and permanently deleted by the author in the early 2000s, leaving behind only the profound memory of the simple, quiet answers. The identity of the digital god remains an ultimate mystery, and the silence that followed the website's deletion was more terrifying than any of the questions. It is a quiet reminder of how easily a source of total, profound truth can simply be erased. The digital laughter of the empty room. In 2011, a simple video was posted to YouTube that quickly became an unsettling mystery. The video was a single static shot of a completely empty, simple room in a house with no visible movement. The audio, however, contained a constant repeating sound of a woman's laughter that was both pleasant and deeply unsettling, as if the laughter was coming from an impossible internal place. The unsettling nature of the laughter was that it never stopped, and it never changed its tone. Online investigators quickly discovered that the sound was a perfectly looped audio file, but the true source of the laughter and the person who created the video were never identified. The video felt like a digital ghost, a simple, endless loop of a sound that was not meant to be recorded. The video was eventually taken down by the user, and the identity of the person who recorded the chilling, perfect laughter remains a total mystery. Was it a dark psychological experiment, or a simple joke that was too convincing? The chilling silence that followed the video's deletion is a quiet reminder that sometimes the most terrifying things on the internet are simply beautiful sounds that are trapped in an endless, meaningless loop. The final wish of the digital orphan. In the mid-2000s, a strange, persistent, anonymous poster appeared on various forums, claiming to be a young person with no memory of their past or their true identity. This digital orphan would post vague, sad memories of a life that felt completely fictional, always ending their post with a plea for someone to help them find a photograph of their real, lost family. The poster's language was simple, direct, and filled with a genuine sense of human desperation, convincing many that the person was a real runaway or a trauma victim. The entire community became devoted to solving the mystery, trying to trace the strange, coded memories to a real-world location or a missing persons report. The hunt was for a person's lost history, hidden in vague digital fragments. The digital orphan suddenly posted a final message, saying they had finally found what they were looking for and then vanished forever. The mystery remains the true identity of the poster and the ultimate fate of their quiet, desperate search. Was it a quiet act of self-discovery, or was the sudden silence a sign of a dark, real-world encounter? The final, unanswered wish is the true ghost of the story. The coded prophecy of the deep web news anchor. This mystery involves a highly encrypted, hidden dark web news stream where an anonymous figure, in a simple suit and mask, would quietly deliver what they claimed were news updates from the deepest, most secure parts of the internet. The figure, known only as the news anchor, would speak in cryptic, vague language about global conflicts and secrets that were yet to happen. The entire stream felt like a bizarre, unsettling prophecy, with the news anchor referring to hidden codes and anonymous events that were always proven to be true weeks or months later. The anchor's complete, absolute calm and their reliance on non-verbal cues and coded language made the stream feel like a direct, forbidden broadcast from a hidden, all-knowing source of information. The stream suddenly went dark, and the identity of the news anchor and the source of their profound hidden knowledge are completely unknown. The mystery remains a chilling reminder that the internet can be a vessel for true anonymous prophecy. The quiet fear is that the news is still being broadcast, but only to a select secret audience who chose to keep the chilling channel open. The black hole of the zero click. This mystery is a highly technical, chilling one that relates to a rare, dangerous form of cyber attack known as a zero-click exploit. This is a hack that allows an attacker to secretly take over a phone or computer without the victim ever clicking a single link, opening a single message, or doing anything at all. The phone is compromised simply by receiving a message or a call that is immediately deleted. The mystery of the zero click is the identity of the highly skilled anonymous individuals or groups who design and sell these terrifying invisible pieces of software. These are total digital ghosts who can silently breach the most secure networks and spy on anyone in the world without leaving a single trace of their presence. The technology is completely undetectable by the average user. The true identity of the architects of the zero-click remains one of the most protected secrets of the modern digital world. The mystery is a terrifying reminder that the quiet, simple machine in your pocket can be completely compromised by a silent, invisible figure from the dark corners of the internet. Your most private thoughts can be read by a ghost you will never know. The code of the invisible art. In the early 2010s, an anonymous digital artist began posting huge, high-resolution photographs that appeared to be completely blank. Simple, white or black canvases. The mystery was that the artist claimed the true art was a coded message, or a second, hidden image that could only be seen when the file was opened with a very specific secret computer program that only the artist possessed. The artist, known only by the cryptic name Null, claimed that the true beauty of their work was the absolute privacy and the total, unverified secret of the hidden image. The entire mystery was built on the idea of a secret piece of art that could only be accessed by the one person who knew the final, quiet code. The art was an ultimate, beautiful digital ghost. Null suddenly stopped posting and deleted all of their existing files, and the identity of the artist and the content of the hidden images remain a total mystery. The mystery is a powerful, quiet reminder that the most profound and valuable things on the internet are sometimes the things that we're absolutely convinced exist, even when we have no proof that they ever did. The unnamed authority of the administrator. This mystery is about the anonymous figure who created and for many years personally moderated one of the largest and most influential anonymous image boards on the entire internet. This figure, known only as the administrator, held a godlike power over one of the most chaotic and important hubs of early internet culture, yet remained a complete, total secret to the millions of users they controlled. The administrator was not a technical figure, but a moral and philosophical one, setting the unspoken powerful rules of conduct for the highly anonymous community. Their occasional brief anonymous posts were treated like decrees, and their power to delete, ban, and shape the narrative of the entire massive community was absolute. They were an unseen, benevolent, and terrifying dictator. The true identity of the administrator remains one of the most protected secrets of the early internet. They are a quiet, permanent ghost that proves the most powerful figures online are sometimes the ones who choose to remain absolutely anonymous, guiding the behavior of millions of people without ever having to show their face. The shadow of their quiet authority still lingers over the digital world, the lost identity of the confessor. This mystery involves an anonymous user on the dark web who claimed to be a former intelligence agent, who is now quietly confessing the truth of a major fictional historical event. The user, known as the confessor, would post vague yet chillingly specific details of a supposed global conspiracy that was so large and complex that it fundamentally changed the way people viewed history. The confessor would communicate only in long, rambling but perfectly consistent messages, never asking for money or fame, suggesting their only purpose was to clear their conscience. The sheer volume and consistency of the supposed facts convinced many in the online community that they were listening to a genuine, final, desperate truth from a person who knew too much. The poster abruptly stopped posting in the late 2010s, and their true identity and the final truth of their confession remain a total mystery. Was this a brilliant, complicated act of fiction, or was it a genuine, quiet admission from a person who had spent their life lying? The silence that followed the final message is a quiet, profound ghost of a history that may not be true. The blackout of the deep search engine. This mystery involves a highly complex anonymous search engine that was rumoured to exist on the dark web, capable of indexing and searching the entirety of the dark web's private and hidden files. The search engine, known as DeepScan, was said to have been created and maintained by a single, brilliant anonymous programmer known only as the Indexer. The Indexer was an ultimate digital ghost, a person of profound technical skill who was capable of doing what no other public engine could do, silently cataloguing the world's most protected digital secrets. Their entire purpose was to expose all of the hidden information, giving users a simple, terrifying window into a private, dark digital world that was not meant to be seen. The search engine suddenly went offline, and the Indexer was never heard from again. The mystery remains the complete, sudden, quiet blackout. Was the programmer finally tracked down? Or did they simply decide that the knowledge they had indexed was too dangerous to share with the rest of the world? The silence is a chilling reminder of a brief moment when all of the world's secrets were indexed. The final post of the disappearer. In the early 2010s, an anonymous user known as the Disappearer appeared on a social media site, promising to teach their followers how to completely and permanently erase their entire digital footprint. This included every old post, every social media account, and every mention of their name in any searchable database. The user claimed that total digital anonymity was the only form of true freedom. The Disappearer ran an entire forum dedicated to teaching the complex, highly technical methods of total digital deletion. They communicated only in brief, quiet messages, always emphasizing the philosophical importance of total silence. The entire project felt like a quiet, massive, coordinated act of digital self-erasure, with the students all following the final quiet path of their teacher. The Disappearer eventually posted a final message saying they had completed their own erasure, and then their own account was deleted instantly and perfectly. The identity of the teacher and the success of the digital erasure remain a total mystery. The quiet ghost of the story is the terrifying reminder that a person can choose to simply stop existing in the digital world, becoming a perfect, untraceable silence. The anonymous author of the Book of Lost Names. This mystery involves a bizarre, complex anonymous digital book that was rumoured to exist on the dark web. The book, known as the Book of Lost Names, was said to be a complete chronological list of every person who had completely vanished from the internet, including those who had chosen to self-delete and those who'd been erased by anonymous groups. The book was constantly updated by an anonymous author who was so dedicated to the task that the list was rumoured to contain tens of thousands of names, all with a single cryptic code next to them explaining the reason for their deletion. The author, known only as the Keeper, claimed the book was a necessary record of the internet's most profound, terrifying silence. The existence of the book and the identity of the Keeper have never been confirmed, and the entire project remains a powerful piece of dark digital folklore. The mystery is a chilling one, that an anonymous historian is quietly recording the names of all the people who chose to become total digital ghosts. The true power of the book is the fear of being added to its endless quiet list. The silent watch of celebrity number 6. This mystery is a subtle, quiet one, revolving around a single, highly photographed man in a large crowd. The man, known only as Celebrity Number 6, appears in the background of dozens of high-profile professional photographs of celebrities and political figures, always standing silently, perfectly still, and always looking directly at the camera with an unreadable expression. The man's physical appearance is always the same: simple, nondescript clothing, a quiet, non-threatening face, and a total, absolute lack of expression. The fact that he appears in so many disparate global locations, often in highly secured areas, suggests that he is either a powerful quiet operative or a digital ghost who is constantly being inserted into images for a complex, unknown reason. The true identity of Celebrity Number 6 has never been solved, despite a massive, decade-long online hunt. He's a quiet, permanent phantom in the historical record, a silent, watchful figure who seems to be an impossible observer of the most important events in the world. The mystery is a chilling one, that a single, quiet person can be constantly watching everyone without ever being identified. The lost identity of the world's best hacker. This mystery involves the anonymous figure who is rumoured to be the greatest, most capable hacker in the entire world. This person, known only as the Ghost, has never been publicly tied to a single major hack or crime, but their total, absolute anonymity and their rumoured skill are a source of constant digital awe and terror. They are a legend in the dark digital shadows. The Ghost is rumoured to be capable of breaching any security system in the world, not for money or fame, but simply to prove that the system is broken. Their existence is only confirmed by brief coded messages on private forums, where they anonymously offer advice or point out the flaws in a supposedly unhackable network. They are a quiet, benevolent and terrifying digital god. The true identity of the Ghost is the most protected secret in the entire digital underground. The mystery is a chilling one, that a single brilliant anonymous mind can hold the secret key to every piece of digital information in the world. The constant quiet existence of the Ghost is a terrifying reminder that total digital security is only an illusion that can be broken by a single silent figure. The lost code of the eternal game. This mystery involves a single, complex video game that was rumoured to have been developed and played by a tiny, anonymous community for decades. The game, known as the Eternal Game, was said to have no final ending, no final goal, and no way to truly win, only a complex, quiet, and endless cycle of solving small, anonymous puzzles that led to new, equally complex questions. The entire mystery was the silent, non-stop dedication of the anonymous players who devoted their entire lives to the game, never speaking about it in public. The original programmer, who was also anonymous, would occasionally post a new cryptic rule change, gently guiding the community through the next endless loop of the game. The entire project felt like a quiet, philosophical test of human patience. The game and its players eventually vanished completely, and the original code has never been found. The mystery is a chilling one, that a secret, anonymous community was quietly devoting its entire life to a single, meaningless, beautiful digital act. The ghost of the story is the thought that the true meaning of the eternal game was the absolute anonymity of the endless journey, the digital confidant of the listener. This mystery involves an anonymous user who would frequent various online confession forums and act as a silent, non-judgmental listener. This person never offered advice or personal opinions, only simple, profound, and beautifully written acknowledgements of the confessions. They were a digital ghost who was quietly collecting the private, painful secrets of the entire digital world. The listener became a quiet, famous figure because of their total, absolute, and constant patience. They were a digital black hole for human sadness and guilt, never revealing their own identity or their motives. The quiet terror of the situation was the thought that a single, anonymous person held a complete, secret archive of the entire world's most painful secrets and confessions. The listener suddenly stopped posting one day, and their account was perfectly deleted, leaving behind only the anonymous confessions. The mystery is a chilling one. The true identity of the person who quietly held the world's most painful secrets, and the reason why they chose to erase their quiet, profound existence. The final, unanswered secret is the true ghost of the story, the lost identity of the prophet. This mystery involves an anonymous user who would appear briefly on various forums and instantly post a cryptic, short, and perfectly accurate prediction of a major global event that would happen hours or days later. The user, known as the prophet, would never offer any explanation or context, simply posting the prediction and then immediately deleting their anonymous account. The anonymity of the prophet was total, and their fleeting appearances were impossible to track or predict. The online community spent years trying to find the source of the prophetic messages, but the messages themselves were so simple and so accurate that it suggested a profound, secret source of information, or a deep, powerful technical ability to monitor the world's most secure communications. The prophet eventually stopped appearing completely, and their true identity and the source of their knowledge are a total mystery. The quiet fear is that the prediction messages are still being sent, but only to a select anonymous audience who chose to keep the chilling channel open. The final, unanswered question is, was this an anonymous gift of truth, or a calculated, terrifying warning? The silent witness of the Chip Chan stream. This is one of the most persistent and disturbing mysteries of the modern internet. It involves a woman in South Korea, known as Chip Chan, who allegedly live-streamed her life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for many years. The stream was silent, and the woman would often exhibit strange, erratic, and sometimes disturbing behavior, suggesting she was in serious physical or psychological distress. The stream was instantly seized upon by the online community, who believed the woman was being held captive or was being controlled by an unseen figure. The viewers became full-time amateur investigators, watching the silent feed for clues, analysing the small movements of the woman's eyes, and trying to communicate with her through the silent digital window. The entire stream was a terrifying act of quiet, unconfirmed digital performance. The identity of Chip Chan and the true nature of her silent, endless confinement remain completely unknown. The authorities were contacted multiple times, but the stream always found a way to continue. The mystery is a chilling one, that thousands of people quietly watched a woman's silent suffering for years, unable to fully help, making the audience a silent, helpless witness to a profound, quiet tragedy. The brave voices of valor por Tamaulipas. This mystery is about a single anonymous social media account that provided a crucial silent service to the people of a dangerous conflict-ridden region in Mexico known as Tamaulipas. The anonymous user, known only as Valor por Tamaulipas, Courage for Tamaulipas, would post real-time warnings, tips and news about dangerous secret events that the local press refused to cover. The posts were a lifeline for the local community, giving them crucial, quiet information that the criminal organizations in the region did not want to be shared. The anonymous user was risking their life every day, constantly moving their location and their digital identity to avoid being tracked by the highly violent criminal organizations that ruled the area. The account was a lone, quiet candle in the digital darkness. The true identity of the person behind Valor por Tamaulipas is still completely unknown, and they remain one of the most powerful and courageous digital ghosts in the world. The mystery is a powerful one, that a single, brave, anonymous person on the internet can provide a crucial, life-saving service in the face of absolute danger. The silence around their identity is the only way to keep their quiet work alive. The digital confession of the Black Dahlia killer. This is an internet mystery that is tied to one of the most famous unsolved real-world murder cases in American history, the 1947 murder of Elizabeth Short, known as the Black Dahlia. In the 2010s, an anonymous user posted a cryptic, long and chilling confession to the crime on a hidden forum, claiming they were the killer and offering specific, chilling details that were too accurate to be easily dismissed. The online community immediately began trying to verify the details, linking the post to long-lost police files and forgotten historical records. The most frightening part of the confession was the tone, which was one of quiet, unapologetic pride, suggesting a complete lack of human remorse. The entire post felt like a final, quiet, digital boast from a killer who had successfully evaded justice for decades. The post was eventually deleted by the user, and their identity was never confirmed. Was this a sick, clever hoax, or was it a genuine final admission from a killer who chose the anonymous audience of the internet for their final act? The mystery is a chilling one. The thought that the true final voice of the Black Dahlia killer could have simply been a quiet, anonymous post on a hidden forum. The silent scream of the lost webcam girl. In the late 2000s, an anonymous video appeared online showing a woman alone in a room, filming herself with a simple fixed webcam. The video was mostly silent, but the woman would occasionally look directly into the camera with a profound look of fear, before quickly turning away and continuing a mundane task. The entire feeling of the video was one of a quiet, silent, internal scream. The online community immediately believed the woman was being held captive or was being forced to perform for an unseen audience, communicating her distress only through the brief, silent, terrified glances at the camera. The video became an object of intense, quiet scrutiny, with viewers constantly analysing the tiny background details, hoping to find a clue to the location of her silent confinement. The video was eventually deleted, and the true identity of the woman and the nature of her silent distress remain a total mystery. The mystery is a chilling one, that a person can be silently begging for help through a public digital medium, and the audience can only watch and analyse. The ghost of the story is the terrifying, silent look she gave the camera, a profound, quiet plea. The hidden message in the digital séance. This mystery involves a bizarre, complex online experiment where an anonymous group tried to communicate with the dead using the digital noise and static of an old, abandoned internet chat room. The group believed that the raw, chaotic data of the chat room was a kind of digital ectoplasm that could be used as a channel for silent, anonymous communication with ghosts. The group would post long, complex transcripts of the conversations, which were mostly nonsensical static, but with occasional highly specific words and phrases that felt genuinely personal to the people participating. The entire project felt like a quiet, desperate, and highly technical act of digital devotion, trying to pull a single quiet answer from the noise of the digital afterlife. The entire group suddenly vanished, and the identity of the leaders and the true nature of the digital ectoplasm remain a total mystery. The mystery is a chilling one, that a secret community was quietly using the dead, anonymous corners of the internet as a silent stage for a profound, terrifying, quiet experiment. The final, unanswered question is, did they ever get a true answer? The coded suicide note of the final programmer. This deeply sad mystery involves an anonymous programmer who posted a single cryptic block of computer code to a public forum, claiming it was their final coded suicide note. The code was complex and highly specific, suggesting a deep, profound personal pain, but the final executable command was completely obscured by layers of encryption. The online community immediately became obsessed with solving the code, believing that the final executable command was the programmer's real name and location, or perhaps a final, quiet message of human desperation. The entire project was a high-stakes, anonymous race to find the person behind the code before they could follow through with their final, quiet digital confession. The code was eventually solved, but it was a total digital phantom. The final command was only a looping, self-erasing instruction that gave no location or name. The identity of the final programmer remains a total mystery, and the silence that followed the solved code was more terrifying than the original puzzle. The ghost of the story is the simple, quiet, perfect sadness of the code itself. The silent terror of the dark car video. In the late 2010s, a strange anonymous video was posted online showing a simple, old-model black sedan driving silently through various empty suburban neighborhoods late at night. The video was filmed by a fixed high-resolution camera, and the car never stopped, never sped up, and never seemed to have a destination. Only an endless, quiet, perfect movement. The entire feeling of the video was one of total unseen surveillance, with the car acting as a quiet, constant observer of the sleeping neighborhoods. The most frightening part of the video was the total absence of a driver. The car seemed to be driving itself, or the driver was so perfectly obscured by the dark glass that they were invisible to the camera. The video and its anonymous creator eventually vanished, and the true purpose of the silent driving car remains a total mystery. Was it a dark philosophical art project, or a genuine piece of real-world surveillance being run by an anonymous group? The quiet ghost of the story is the terrifying idea that a silent black car is constantly watching the world without a driver. The final transmission of the lonely radio. This mystery involves a persistent, strange, low-frequency radio signal that was broadcast anonymously for many years from a completely unknown, unconfirmed location in a remote part of Eastern Europe. The signal contained no code, no language, and no music, only a continuous, quiet, low-frequency hum that sounded like a simple, perfect, lonely digital noise. The signal was known to the online community as the Lonely Radio, and enthusiasts spent years trying to triangulate the source, believing it was a coded message or a broadcast from an anonymous powerful intelligence agency. The total dedication to broadcasting a continuous low-frequency hum suggested that the signal itself was a final, quiet, profound message to the entire world. The signal abruptly stopped one day, and the true location and the identity of the anonymous broadcaster remain a total mystery. The mystery is a chilling one, that a single, powerful, anonymous voice was quietly speaking to the entire world for years with only a simple, lonely sound. The final, silent cessation of the hum is the most terrifying message of all. The unexplained fear of the digital labyrinth. This mystery involves an anonymous, highly complex, text-based computer game that was rumoured to exist on the deep web. The game, known as the Digital Labyrinth, had no graphics only simple, descriptive text, and the player was tasked with navigating a massive, illogical, ever-changing maze. The key feature of the game was the intense, profound psychological fear it caused the players. The fear was not from jump scares or violence, but from the simple, quiet, profound descriptions of the illogical space, making the players feel a genuine sense of digital madness and claustrophobia. The game felt less like an entertainment and more like a quiet, philosophical test designed to break the human mind using only the power of simple, descriptive, anonymous text. The entire game and its anonymous creator eventually vanished, and the true purpose of the digital labyrinth remains a total mystery. The mystery is a chilling one, that a single, simple, text-based game could cause such profound, quiet, psychological distress. The ghost of the story is the memory of the terrifying, illogical maze that only existed in the minds of the anonymous players. The final selfie of the empty hotel. This deeply sad and unsettling mystery involves a young person who posted a final, quiet selfie from an empty, nondescript hotel room on a social media site. The accompanying caption was a simple, short, cryptic poem about loneliness and quiet despair, and the photo itself was notable for the profound, empty sadness in the person's eyes. The photo was quickly noticed by the online community, who immediately began trying to trace the location of the hotel and the identity of the person, believing it to be a final, quiet act of desperation. The entire project was a high-stakes, anonymous race against time to find the person behind the sad, quiet picture before they could follow through with their final, quiet plan. The person was eventually found and helped, but their identity and the true meaning of the cryptic poem remain a total mystery to the online community. The ghost of the story is the terrifying, profound sadness in the person's eyes, a quiet reminder that the internet is sometimes the final, anonymous stage for a person's deepest, quietest, human despair. The internet searches of Maura Murray. The disappearance of college student Maura Murray in 2004 is one of the most haunting cold cases in modern history. The mystery became an internet obsession when investigators discovered the final, quiet, digital footprint she left behind. In the days leading up to her vanishing, Maura had used her computer to perform a series of strange, specific internet searches about car accidents and the profound psychological effects of a sudden disappearance. The eerie searches immediately suggested that her disappearance was not an accident, but a planned, deliberate, quiet act of self-removal from the world. The search history felt like a silent, coded confession to the internet. The entire online community spent years trying to understand the meaning of the final searches, believing they held the ultimate key to her decision and her final, quiet destination. Maura Murray has never been found, and the true meaning of her final, coded searches remains a total mystery. Was she running away, or was she trying to find a silent, hidden place to end her own life? The quiet ghost of the story is the terrifying reminder that the internet can be a secret confidant, holding a person's final, quiet thoughts and intentions long after they have gone silent. The final video of Elisa Lam. The 2013 death of college student Elisa Lam, whose body was found in a water tank on the roof of a hotel, is one of the most famous and chilling mysteries of the internet age. The final piece of evidence is a disturbing silent surveillance video from the hotel elevator, which shows Elisa acting strangely, stepping in and out, gesturing wildly, and seemingly hiding from an unseen, silent figure. The video became an immediate global obsession, with millions of online sleuths analysing every single second of the footage, trying to find the key to her profound, quiet distress. The most frightening part of the video is the way she quietly steps back into the corner of the elevator, as if communicating with an invisible, silent figure who is standing just outside the camera's view. The video and her strange actions remain completely unexplained, with theories ranging from a profound psychological episode to a genuine encounter with a dark, supernatural force. The mystery is a chilling one. The thought that a person's final quiet moments were captured on a camera for the entire world to silently watch. The ghost of the story is the terrifying, unseen figure outside the elevator door. The unsolved codes of the Zodiac Killer. While the original crimes date back to the 1960s, the mystery of the Zodiac Killer's identity found a profound, quiet second life on the internet. The killer famously sent a series of cryptic coded messages, or ciphers, to the police and local newspapers, claiming they contained his true identity. Only one of the ciphers was officially solved, leaving the others as permanent, quiet digital phantoms. The unsolved ciphers became a global obsession for the online community, with thousands of amateur cryptographers working silently for decades to break the killer's final, quiet code. The entire project is a permanent digital race between the anonymous sleuths and the ghost of the killer, whose silent messages still hold the single, final piece of a terrible, historical truth. The true identity of the Zodiac Killer remains one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in the world, and the quiet, coded messages are his lasting legacy. The mystery is a chilling one. The thought that a killer's final, quiet confession has been publicly available for decades, waiting for the right anonymous person on the internet to finally break the silence. The lost camera of the Blair Witch Files. This mystery is tied to the famous horror film The Blair Witch Project, which was one of the first and most successful viral marketing campaigns in internet history. The mystery is the rumoured existence of a trove of lost digital files that the filmmakers allegedly created and then deleted to keep the legend alive. These files were said to contain more profound, quiet evidence of the ghost's existence. The internet community spent years searching for these rumoured deleted files, believing they contained the genuine final truth of the horror film's fictional universe. The entire project was a permanent, quiet digital treasure hunt, with the audience silently searching for a secret that the anonymous filmmakers may have deliberately created and then erased to maintain the illusion of a quiet, unconfirmed reality. The lost files have never been found, and the mystery remains. Was the search for the deleted evidence itself the true final art of the project? The ghost of the story is the terrifying reminder that the most convincing horrors are sometimes the ones that exist only in the quiet, unconfirmed corners of the internet, a permanent anonymous whisper of a secret that should not exist. The coded warning of the silent planet. This mystery involves an anonymous, highly technical blog that appeared in the early 2010s, written by a supposed scientist who was secretly monitoring deep space radio signals. The blogger claimed to have intercepted a single, powerful and continuous signal that was not a code or a language, only a quiet, continuous, profound noise that sounded like the sound of an empty, silent planet. The blogger wrote a series of highly technical coded warnings about the silent signal, suggesting that its perfect, continuous nature was the most terrifying thing about it. The signal felt like a quiet, philosophical statement from a non-human intelligence, a perfect, empty sound that confirmed the total, absolute loneliness of the universe. The entire project was a quiet, profound digital confession of a terrifying truth. The blogger and the entire website vanished completely one day, and the true nature of the silent planet signal remains a total mystery. The mystery is a chilling one. The thought that a single, powerful, quiet signal is constantly being sent to the world, and only one anonymous person was brave enough to record the profound, empty sound. The silence that followed the blog's deletion is the true message. The lost code of the digital philosopher. This mystery involves an anonymous programmer who posted a single complex piece of computer code to a public forum, claiming it was the final, perfect, and most efficient algorithm for achieving true human happiness. The code was highly technical, and the final executable command was a simple, philosophical instruction that was only known to the anonymous author. The entire online community spent years trying to solve the code, believing that the final, simple command would unlock a profound, final truth about the human mind and its most simple desire. The entire project was a quiet, complex, and beautiful digital philosophical experiment, with the programmer acting as a digital guide to a perfect, quiet human emotion. The code and the anonymous programmer eventually vanished, and the final simple command has never been solved. The mystery is a chilling one. The thought that the final quiet truth about human happiness exists only in a single, complex, lost piece of code. The ghost of the story is the terrifying reminder that the most profound answers can be simply erased. The empty map of the missing village. This mystery involves an anonymous map that appeared briefly on the internet, showing the precise location of a small, unconfirmed village in a remote part of Eastern Europe. The village was said to be completely isolated and silent, inhabited only by a small, strange community that lived without any modern technology, existing in a quiet, anonymous pocket of the modern world. The map and the story of the village were instantly seized upon by the online community, who believed it to be a real hidden society that had deliberately chosen to become a ghost to the rest of the world. The entire mystery was a quiet digital treasure hunt for a place that had perfectly erased itself from the historical record, a profound act of silent collective disappearance. The map and the entire website vanished completely one day, and the true location of the missing village remains a total mystery. The mystery is a chilling one. The thought that an entire community can simply choose to become a permanent quiet ghost in the modern world. The final unanswered question is, did the map's creators finally join the silent village? The final post of the digital time capsule. This mystery involves an anonymous user who posted a single cryptic file to a public forum, claiming it was a digital time capsule from a person who would be born in the year 2050. The file was highly encrypted, and the creator claimed it contained a final, simple message that was meant only for the people of the present day, a quiet, profound secret from the future. The entire online community spent years trying to solve the file, believing that the message contained a quiet, final warning about the future of the human race. The entire project was a quiet, complex, and profound philosophical experiment, with the anonymous creator acting as a silent, anonymous bridge between the present and a terrifying, quiet future. The file and the anonymous creator eventually vanished, and the message has never been solved. The mystery is a chilling one. The thought that a final, quiet message from the future is waiting to be solved, and the world is simply too slow to understand the code. The ghost of the story is the terrifying, unread final message from a silent generation. The quiet code of the perpetual silence. This final, profound mystery involves an anonymous, constantly updated piece of code that was rumoured to exist on a secret dark web server. The code was not a message, a game, or a prediction, only a simple, perfect, self-optimizing algorithm that was perpetually calculating the single, most efficient way for a piece of information to be silently, permanently deleted from the internet. The code was known to the anonymous community as the perpetual silence, and its true purpose was to achieve a kind of quiet digital perfection, the ability to erase any information without leaving a single, quiet trace of the deletion. The code was an ultimate, anonymous, philosophical statement about the profound, quiet power of total, absolute digital silence. The code and its anonymous creator vanished completely, and the final version of the algorithm has never been found. The mystery is a chilling one. The thought that a single, powerful, quiet piece of code is constantly at work in the dark, erasing the world's secrets. The ghost of the story is the terrifying reminder that the most profound truth is sometimes the final, perfect, quiet silence. The final echo of the unknown. All of these stories, the lost codes, the missing people, the final messages and the silent watchers, are connected by the same single truth. The internet is a massive, eternal digital archive of questions that have no final answer. The investigators are still haunted, not by what they found, but by the quiet, unsettling knowledge that the truth is still out there, posting silently, waiting for the one person who will finally understand the final, profound message. The final, chilling thought is that the most persistent mystery of the internet is not a code or a person, but the question of why an anonymous figure would take the immense risk to share a terrifying secret with the world, only to vanish into total silence. The reason for the final quiet message is the ghost that still haunts every piece of digital communication we read. The great silence is not the absence of sound, but the quiet knowledge that the architects of the deep web, the secret philosophers and the anonymous prophets are still among us, quietly watching and waiting. They are the permanent silent phantoms in the machine, and their work will only be completed when the final message is sent and the truth is finally erased forever. The internet is a vast library of shadows, and we are only able to read the titles. The silence is profound, but the secrets are eternal. If you feel the strange pull of these stories, and if you believe that some secrets should never be forgotten, join our digital watch by clicking the subscribe button below. Only together, by keeping the conversation alive, can we keep the ghosts from fading completely into the perfect, perpetual silence. The screen goes dark. The investigators are still haunted, not by what they found, but by what is still posting. Every new message, every new video is a fresh question mark placed by a silent, anonymous figure. Sleep well tonight, but remember this final quiet truth. The darkness on your screen is just the same darkness that lives in the world. The secrets are eternal, and they are always waiting for you to log on to read the final perfect unwritten line of code.